Recorded live at Vauxhall Comedy Club, this is the Ding Dong Gong Show.
Vauxhall Comedy Club, how are we feeling out there? Are we good? Who's ready for the Ding Dong Gong Show? Let's make some noise for your host, it's the wonderful Luke Chilton!
Biggest, shittest grill. Fucking lovely. We're doing good? Everyone's well? Yeah. Give me a cheer if you've been to the Ding Dong Gong Show before. We love those return rates. Fucking hell. Give me a cheer if you know what the Ding Dong Gong Show is about. Okay, give me a cheer if you thought you were coming to just a regular comedy show today. Yeah. Okay, you guys are in need of some serious expectation management. Okay, basically, what happens on the Ding Dong Gong Show is we go fucking insane. We send out a general email to the public inviting anyone in the whole country to come onto the stage and have a go at 5 minutes of comedy. And what's really funny is it turns out that doing 5 minutes of comedy is really fucking hard. Do we vet them for experience? No. Do we vet them for talent? Absolutely not. Do we vet them to check their sound mental health? Absolutely no! We just reply to the first 10 people get back to us and we see what happens. Does that sound good to you guys? Yeah. Damn straight. So, the way it's going to work is a bunch of acts who've probably never done stand-up before are going to come up here and do their best. When they finish performing, then they're going to be interviewed by our panel of comedy veterans, who I'm going to introduce to you now. So please, go crazy, go wild for your two comedy veterans. It's Katie Green and Hattie Preston! Lovely, lovely. So these are the mean girls today. The bitchiest girls in high school. How are you doing, Katie Green, Hattie Preston?
Just so well, Lichel. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Yeah. Luke's just got a new girlfriend, so he's really smart.
I did, yeah. So making me blush. But it's true, I'm doing very well at life at the moment. Give me a cheer if you're single. Not me. Katie Green, what are you looking for today? What are you hoping to see today from our acts? I love that you've already started handling the big fucking black tilt.
I'm going home with this tonight, and I'm be done. What am I looking for? I don't know. Funny?
Funny?
Yeah.
That's great. Standard Hattie, what are you looking for?
I just think self-belief, Luke.
Self-belief?
Yeah, really into that.
In yourself or acts?
No, absolutely not mine. Everyone else. I like seeing self-belief in.
Okay, if you're concerned about Hattie's mental health, we will be doing a roundup for a bucket at the end of the show. Okay, so, basically, what do I need to explain to you? Yes, so, if the idea of amateur comedians coming on and trying their best at stand-up for the first time ever sounds like an ordeal, don't worry, because we're going to give you guys a special power. Basically, you guys at any point can decide to throw an act off stage. Can I get a ooh? Yes, and the way we're going to do that, we're going to give 4 of you the power to represent the mob. And how are you going to communicate to us that you want an act thrown off? By using dildos! Yes, you're probably wondering why dildos? Well, sometimes you choose your sponsor, and other times your sponsor chooses you. There you go. This one is fucking filthy. What? I can't get it. It's not like chewing it. The balls are the worst. Anyway, okay, so what's going to go on? 4 of you are going to be chosen. If you see an act you don't like, you sort of feel they're not bringing comedy gold, you raise your dong in the air and you'll hear this sound. One dong. One dong. If the act gets 3 dongs, they must stop performing, and then they'll get interviewed and perhaps a little bit bullied by our panel, and and then they'll have to leave the stage either in complete disgrace and shame or overwhelming victory. And if they get to the end of the 5 minutes and they don't get 3 gongs, you'll hear this noise. That's the Lucas song. If they win. If they win. What happens if they win? Give it up to a flawless tech today, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, I get winning and losing confused sometimes.
Yeah, he's fucking stoned out of his idols tonight. Don't worry, I'll fucking get him later. Who would like to be a judge? Me? Oh, that was like the polite, everyone's like, me, I'd like the big dick, please. You know what I love about the dildos is it's really difficult to know who wants the dildo because they want to be a judge or because they're just a filthy pervert. Who we got? Birthday boy. You got the birthday boy? I love birthday boy. Oh my god, look at you. You look like the fucking, how old are you? 28. Fuck off. Yeah. You literally look like Harry Potter his first day of school. That's insane. Stand up and look at the audience. Look at this fucking I feel like it's a sex crime giving this to you. Oh my god. Sorry? Do you say it's still doing, right? Is this your girlfriend? Yeah. You fucking pedo? Where did you guys meet? At school? University. Okay, whatever you're saying. Sixth form does not count as university. But anyway, nicely you can get out of detention to come tonight. What's your name, birthday boy? Mike. Don't put your voice all deep now that I've said it. Mike, I work in banking. Why should I give you this dildo? What makes you a brutal but fair judge of character? You can't look at your girlfriend. What do I do, mummy? She'll tell me what. Monkey organ grinder. Sorry, what is happening? I'm not familiar with Gen Z slang. You're more of the asshole. You just want the dildo. Yeah. It is your birthday, isn't it? Okay, well I think, what's the cruelest thing you've ever done, girlfriend? You just say show the teacher your dick pic.
Someone sent me a dick pic in school and I was like, wouldn't it be funny to show the teacher and see how he reacted? And you went bright red and was like, I don't know what to do.
Oh my god. That's like a reverse predatory sex crime. I don't understand. We all thought the child was the victim, but we were all wrong. Did you get him fired?
No, he was just like, what do I do with this? And I was just like, I
don't know. What do you think? Good judge of character or just a fucking creepy weird type? Can I give her the dildo? Yeah! I'll give her the dildo. You can have the dildo. You can be judge once. Sir, I saw you put a fucking thumb down, which I'm loving that kind of energy. What's your name, sir?
Mark.
Warwick. Mark.
Yeah.
I felt like you added extra syllables. Marker.
Being Northern Irish, that's what we do.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're pointing out that I was committing a hate crime then. Quite right too. Mark, what? Are you a good destroyer of hopes and dreams?
Well, I'm a teacher, so yeah.
Oh, yes. I fucking love that energy. What do you teach?
A little bit of everything.
I fucking love that. Sounds like you teach nothing. Like I turn up in a tracksuit and I just try not to get bullied by the students.
Accurate, yeah.
Is that are you a spy teacher?
A spy teacher?
A spy? Do you really think I just asked you if you're a spy teacher?
I thought I blew my cover.
You're just like, oh fuck, he is a sleepless spy. I don't know, I mean Russia is doing some big moves at the moment, so maybe you're from Northern Ireland, just west of Poland, I don't know. What's the meanest thing you've ever done as a teacher?
That's actually a good question.
Oh, I know what you did.
Oh, I fucking love this. What did Mark do, mystery lady?
We went on a school journey and we went out for a walk like in the middle of the night and he hid from the kids and petrified the shit out of them.
Oh my god! The funny thing is, the kid was in a wheelchair. Wait, why did you do that to them? a thing straight away. Give him an appropriate dildo. What do you think? Oh, a long one. Yeah? Come get a long one. Can you pose that back to up, please? We need 2 more judges. Yes! Oh, wait. We got another judge here. What was your name, lady?
Sophie.
Sophie. Everyone say hi, Sophie. And Sophie, why do you think you should earn the right to be a judge?
Because I love dildos and shit comedy. So.
Black one! Give it a big black one! We got one more dildo going. Oh, I like your energy. You're like, please. What's your name, lovely? It's what? Carla. Wait, Spanish?
No, Carla.
Carla. Oh, English. There we go. Nice. I've just come across the most uncultured man in the world. Why should we make you a judge, Clara?
Because I'm also a vertigo.
Oh. Yeah! How old are you today?
Mind your business.
25?
Yeah. Mind your business.
Mind your business? You're quite right, lady. You're a dildo! Oh, you get a big, long, wormy one. Oh, I really don't like the way that... Okay, alright, we've all got dildos? We all happy? Okay, so, the way it's going to work, acts are going to come up, they're going to do 5 minutes. For the first minute, you are not allowed to dong them, okay? Because we want to be brutal, but we want to be fair. Okay, so you get to know within a minute whether they're dog shit or whether they're going somewhere, okay? When the minute is over, you'll hear this noise. And that gives you guys permission to go fucking ape shit on the dildos, alright? And we basically say no heckling, let them get on with it, but if you feel like the judges are being too kind to someone, you can shout out dong in order to encourage them to put them on. So let's give it a practice. Let's say I'm up here, I'm doing my thing, the minute time is going off. Oh, why did the chicken cross the road? The judges aren't putting their thing, someone shout out dong! Oh, fuck, and put on the music, I'm lost, I fucking suck! Then I talk to them. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. Do we all understand how the show works? Fucking hell. It's a lot of admin for a show primarily about dildos, isn't it? Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, I didn't even tell you the prize. The prize is basically the person who does the best set tonight gets a paid spot on one of our weekend shows. So let's go. So it's going to be bloodthirsty. You can literally make someone or break someone tonight. That's about it. Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Excellent stuff. Okay, I need silence in the performance area for your first act, please. Silence on the dance floor. Okay, ready for our first act? Yeah! How come you guys, are you ready for your first act? Yeah! Please go wild and crazy for Patricia Ella!
And I got lost for 4 hours trying to get home. What happened was I went on a date, and throughout the date, towards the end of it, the girl actually trying to climb a fence spliced her calf open. And then before we could go to A&E, I insisted that we went to McDonald's. So I know I sound like a complete dickhead because I am a dickhead. And so after we went to McDonald's, we got on a bus and we were trying to get her to A&E, and she vomited 3 times into the McDonald's bag with all the food in it. So, being honest, my energy is a little weird. So if you're with me there, let's go. Dating is awful. Do I have anyone on my side with that? Yeah, dating sucks. I find dating really weird. Like, the main thing I find challenging is I think I finished Tinder. Like, I beat it. Remember a video game? I've been through it. I know what's on there. I know what's out there. And part of it, too, is there's so many reasons not to date, but one of the main ones is I think I'm part of the problem. And that's because I don't understand my sexuality. Like, if I were to describe my sexuality, I think It means if you were to date me, that makes you gay as well, even if it's a straight situation. But I have weird imposter syndrome about being gay somehow, which is really lame because it turns out you can have imposter syndrome in literally any area of your life. And it got worse because after a date, a woman told me, she was like, you know, it's because you're really straight passing. And I was like, okay, well, that feels like you don't like how I look. So that's rude. Like, I'm sorry, do I need Doc Martens and a stickum poke to eat you out? So one of the last people I was seeing, the sole piece of furniture he owned was a yoga mat. Which is yikes. So I left Canada, actually. I was like, oh, I'm done. I've seen everything I need to see. He said it's because he chooses adversity. I don't know if anyone in the room has maybe experienced adversity, but it's just not quite, if you choose it, it's not how it works. So we had to go to my place because the yoga mat didn't roll out into a double. And he said he likes a yoga mat because he's like, why would I invest in a mattress? I don't know, dude, like, first of all, someone died and got this for free. Like, if you're under 30, you don't know where your mattress came from. You just have one, you're grateful to have it, right? But obviously, so we go to my place. I'm not super sold on bringing them to my house because I have, like, this lovely shelter cat. And it just makes me feel like I'm turning into my mom if I'm parading strange men past him. You know what I mean? You guys have bad moms? Nice, I love it. I can talk shit about my mom is chill because I have a really good dad. So. No daddy issues, just mommy issues. It's a rough draft of my sexuality for 2022. Anyway, so I bring this man to the pinnacle of luxury, which is just my queen-size mattress on the floor. And with all the audacity in the world, he accused me of faking not orgasming. So, I don't know if you caught that. This man, who's been through so much adversity in his life, thinks I came and suppressed it. How did I do that? Like, I once left a 5-star review for McDonald's. Like, if I come, you're gonna know. I'm very vocal. Like, nobody told me to come to England and be like, men disrespect me, and I'm gay now, but I'm here and I'm yelling at you guys. So anyway, moving on. I like being in England. I think it's really cool. I love being around amenities, but weed is illegal here, which is weird. Like, I haven't really bought weed illegally because I'm from Canada. And my dad grew all the weed for our forest growing up, so like I always had fairly safe access to it. But I realized buying weed illegally is super fucking weird. Because like when you buy weed in a dispensary, you can ask them any question you want. Like you can go in there, you can ask the most ridiculous out-of-pocket shit you want. When you buy weed illegally, you get 0 questions. You're not allowed to ask a question. Like a dude on a bike rolls up, hands you a bag of oregano, and you have to be like, but so like obviously even when weed was illegal, it didn't feel very illegal to me because my dad's situation, and I know I had a ridiculous upbringing because I was raised by a gay stoner and his like 1940s survivalist parents who thought the 1930s could come back at any time, and sometimes I just felt like as a kid screaming like, we don't need 9 people to use the same bathwater. Like it's 2006, it's not 1933. Like we're good, guys. But it was fun. But I feel like so when I was growing, I'm so sorry, I got mixed up. Forgive me. But my dad is gay. He's also a
well done, really good. It's fucking really hard to go first as well, so you fucking smashed
my
it out.
hands are dumb.
Your hands are
I
up.
guess I've seen shoes.
Did you guys want to as numbers? I was gonna say, I wrote down one of your things. I'm thinking of a really like strong, calm, confident energy. I say that and she has a panic attack. But no, you really don't come across as nervous at all. You've got like a really, really good energy about you. I thought you got like a very naturalistic style. How long have you been going for?
About 5 months.
5 months? Okay, that's really, give her a applause. I almost don't like it when we start with someone good. But no, that's really fucking good. For 5 months, you're on top of the world. I think only thing I'd say would be I'll get like some sort of strong opener or address the room because then you can like bash straight into it. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's Irish, you know what I mean? Like, I think you're well on your way to. I'm impressed. Well done.
Thanks, Luke.
What do you guys think?
Brilliant. I think do you waffle when you're nervous?
What is waffle?
Like go off on sort of like and overspeak.
Yeah, like add so much fat
Yeah,
where I don't need to.
that's what I was going to say, because I'm exactly the same. So I watch it, trim the fat.
Yeah.
Especially for a 5 minute set, trim it. Your jokes are so good. They're really tight, like you're used to words, but get there quicker. Like just get, because especially on 5 minutes. But yeah, it's great. It was great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, that's all right, very good. Yeah, great punchlines. Got a lot of strong jokes in there, but I agree with Hattie. Do you have a set list?
Yeah, actually, Greg just helped me write my first ever set list because I haven't been. I've just been writing out like word for word, like 500 words.
I used to do exactly that, and if you just bang out your bullet points, bang, 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 it will stop you waffling, and you won't get lost. You won't get lost when you do get a bit like nervous, because I do exactly the same.
Okay, well, thank you all so much.
No worries. Take should we pick someone out of the bucket? Yeah! Take out from the bucket of destiny, my friend. Read out the name. Who's it?
Marcus Beebe?
Marcus Beebe, everybody!
So the more observant bunch in the room, I ought to be able to tell that I'm from one of potentially 40 different countries. I'm half British, half Malaysian. No fans of Malaysian tonight. Fine. There we go. It does sound like a planet from Star Wars, I respect the science. It's strange being Asian, you know. A number of times in my life people have tried to relate to me through my Asianness. A number of times in my life people have said to me, hey, are you Asian? And I'll say, yes. And they'll say, why? Because I went to Asia on my gap year. I know these people do mean well. Parenting and a gap year are two very different things. For example, I don't go up to a homeless guy and say, hey, you homeless? And the homeless guy says, yeah. And I'll say, wow, because I went to Glastonbury. I slept in a sleeping bag and everything. Now, someone told me I shouldn't make that joke. They said it might come across as anti-white. And I said you're wrong on 2 counts there. Firstly, audiences are clever enough to know that this is not anti-white sentiment. And secondly, ethnic minorities go on holiday too. So it's my mum that's Malaysian. I saw a couple of you there at the back taking bets. But my dad, he is white, like proper white. And when I think back to my childhood, when I was 5 and he was 50, we walked through the shopping centre, holding hands. It's incredible to me that no one ever called the police. It's all good now, I'm all grown up. These days, when we walk together, we still don't look like father and son, but more like work colleagues with very similar teeth. So I'm turning 30 this year, guys. People get surprised by that. They think I look younger. I don't think I look younger. I think I look haggard. But it's interesting how people's perceptions can be very different to your own. Take Tesco Express, they still think I'm a 17-year-old kid. I left my ID at home one day and had to get my friend to buy me a Red Bull. So he goes into the shop and I'm left outside with a bunch of sick formers who are waiting for their cigarettes or weed or Red Bulls. No assumptions here, guys, no assumptions here. And in awkward situations, guys, I like to make small talk with people, and that works in job interviews and smoking areas. It does not go down so well with teenage boys at a petrol station. Now, one of these boys, we had a small talk to here. Do you remember them? Yeah. So I looked at him and I said, mate, nice tie. And he said, mate, I have a girlfriend. The story ends here. This is not a rom-com. The guy does not end up with the much younger guy. Or I'll be doing this set over Zoom in prison. So I'm currently going through my second puberty, the puberty of the belly. I'm not looking for sympathy, you're looking at the problem. But for the first time in my life, I'm starting to get body conscious. I'm getting these negative thoughts going through my brain. They're asking me questions saying, is your face too flabby? Is your waistline too wide? Is your penis getting too big?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I did some research to find out if my penis is getting too big. And I got arrested. Now, if it's not abundantly clear, people, I've had a very weird couple of years. Give us a cheer for a weird couple of years. Yes, it's all a bit nostalgic, hasn't it? For a happier time, a better time, and I'm no different. Me, I get nostalgic for the 60s, whether that's the music, the fashion, the Manson murders. I knew it was too soon for that one. I sometimes wish I was a young man in the 60s, but I've got to stop thinking that way, because if this way of thinking goes down the gene pool, one day my grandson's going to look at me and say, Grandad, you are so lucky that you're around at the same time as One Direction.
Alright, you made it, man. Well done. I loved your opening thing about being like a Malaysian geezer. I think that's so funny. Because when you came on stage, it's like, I can't tell whether you're going to be the victim or perpetrator of racism. No, you did really good, man. I thought that was, you started really strong. I felt like you sort of tangled down a little bit towards the end, but you did really good. You got decent jokes. How long have you been going for?
So we're coming up to 4 months now.
4 months? How many gigs have you done?
Tonight is 26.
26? Okay, that's fucking nothing. Yeah, you're very, very good. Give him a round of applause, it's very nice. Yeah, no, I felt like you played on your appearance really well, and then you took it further as well, which was really nice. You seemed quite naturalistic on stage. You also dealt with the heckler very nicely, you didn't get thrown. So yeah, it was pretty good all round. What did you guys think? Start with feedback.
You have a great joke, the homeless in the Glastonbury. It's really good. That's a really good, it's a good start one, it's good. I think after that, you fell into, which is completely part of the course of this, if you're only 4 months in, which is amazing, it's very premise heavy. So there's a lot of stuff that's like, it's the beginnings of a joke, you haven't written it yet. And you had stuff there that made everyone laugh in the way that it would make people laugh if you said it in a pub to your mates. So very self-deprecating, immediately the audience warms to you, you're very likeable. You haven't finished the joke, and you're now in the business of joke writing, not just saying funny comments that make people laugh. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
So there's stuff like you know, Brandon, you being alive at the time of One Direction. Run with it, run with it the way your grandchildren will talk about One Direction, the way we talked about our parents about Beatles. Do you know what I mean? Like, finish the joke off because you've got your premise heavy right now, but it's good premises and you're very likeable.
That's great feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great opener. It's like your opening 2 minutes is really good and especially great for gongs. You'll be doing all these gongs, I'm sure. So yeah, keep with that and then just work on that closing and make that 5 as tight as possible. And I mean, great start, man. Great start.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well done, mate. Thank you. What do you want, Bucket of Destiny or the prescribed list?
Destiny!
Destiny! Adam Cleveland!
Hi guys, of course, I went to a special school because I can't read. I've got dyslexia, and this became the most embarrassing moment of my life. So in school, you have to do what I did when I wrote how I woke up. So you have to write down how I woke up. So I wrote down, I wake myself up in the morning and I go to school. But instead of that, I wrote, my mum wakes me up in the morning. What I actually wrote was, My mum wanks me up in the morning. And I go to school. I went to a special school for dyslexia, so I got in school bus. They come, they have a big sunshine on it. There's a guy in the back that sits with you and says hi. We have a cage so we can't get to the fucking driver! Going to special school was great. It was much more fun than normal school. Then like weird things happened. One time I went into maths and my friend Alfie comes in and Alfie goes, "Oh yeah, Adam, someone's pissed in the bin." I go, "What?" He goes, "Oh yeah, somebody's pissed in the bin." I go, "What do you mean someone's pissed in the bin?" And he goes, "Someone's pissed in the bin, up to the brim." And I was like, "Show me." So
2 arms.
I ran down to the bin, to the toilets, and there was a bin full of piss. So it wasn't all the way to the brim. So I pissed in the bin.
3 arms.
I think main thing on that, I think is just you were visibly nervous when you came on, and then the first thing you talked about was being in a special school, and if you come with a premise like that, which could potentially be controversial, if you're not 110% behind it, the crowd is going to be like, no, I feel uncomfortable, and then they won't get on board until you've like really won them over. So I think that's what happened there. You guys?
Yeah, how long have you been going?
15-ish.
Yeah, I'd say record all your sets, like even everything, just because there's lots of things that some of the jokes were foreseeable, so just you can listen back and see what you can cut out to make it more punchy. So I'd say record your sets, yeah?
I'm really aware of you're dyslexic, so the nature of me sitting here being like, oh, structural joke is fucking offensive. So, but you, it's so rich. The special school things like the bus with the sunshine on it. Like when you flipped at them, you're like, oh, fucking right. You need a misdirect in front of that. So things like everyone thinks that people who go to special schools are somehow volatile. We had this lovely bus, blah, blah, and then when you flip, you've got them. Do you know what I mean? There's a misdirect. It's not just comments about the things you went through. Craft them into something. And it's great to have a comedy buddy when you're starting off, just so you're running jokes with someone and they're going, have a structure here, have a misdirect here, have an act out here, it's that stuff. I think you'll enjoy it, because your ideas are very good, and now it's just about the plotting them.
Yeah, I think that's another thing as well. Like you're like an interesting character, so it might be like it might be a bit of a harder road initially, but once you tap into that sort of like difference you've got, you'll have a huge advantage over people. So keep going, you're on the right track. Oh my God. Yeah. Alright, we're going to go with the list. The next act coming to the stage, Danny Fields!
Cheers, thank you. I recently moved down my council estate and I moved to a posh area. And I noticed all the dogs where I live now are like stereotypically cute dogs. They're like Dachshunds and Poodles. The dogs on my old estate, they was proper council estate dogs. We had one dog on my old estate that was part Rottweiler, part Scaffolder. Park it here, just give you a free quote. I miss the dogs on my old estate, but I do not miss the foxes, because they keep you up late at night having sex. You know when they're having sex, because they scream wildly, right? And I lived in my old house with my mum, my dad, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend had never lived near foxes, which was weird. So this was all new to her. She got woken up in the middle of the night. She was like, babe, can you hear the absolute state of that fox? And I was like, babe, that's my mum. I'm working class, I'm Catholic, I used to go to church a lot, I got in trouble at church a lot. I had a short attention span, right? I was a trouble in church. I remember once my mum, she looked down at me and she went, Danny, if you don't behave yourself, when you get outside, I'm going to give you a fucking hiding. And I was in shock, because this is the first time my mum had ever swore at me or threatened me in the house of God. And then she turned around, put her hands together, looked at me, if you look at me like that, I'll fucking give you one and all. But I had to go for a checkup recently. A few years ago I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And to get rid of it, the doctors had to remove one of my testicles. But unfortunately it didn't go as planned. And I did in fact tragically die. So I told HMRC. But, to get rid of it, they did have to remove one of my testicles. So it means I've only got one left, which isn't ideal. There's a lot of pressure on it. I get questions about my testicle. I had someone ask me, what's it like to have sex with one ball? It's fine, completely normal. I just prefer having sex with vaginas. I had someone else ask me, now you've only got one left, which way does it lean? Like to the left or to the right? It leans to the left. I think that's just because it appreciates public health care. Straight from me balls bag. Third question I get the most. Since I lost my testicle, have I lost any testosterone? Now normally when people ask me this, they're trying to mug me off and take the piss. And someone asked me in a pub once, and I just went, oh, why don't you just fuck off? But as well as having cancer, I'm also asthmatic, and I'm half deaf. So I'm basically just a list of things that don't work properly. Like when most babies are born, the doctor says, congratulations, you've got a beautiful, healthy baby. When I was born, the doctor just went, in theory, you should work. But like I said, I'm half deaf, and when people find out about that, they make the same jokes. What? I can't hear you. Get it? You know, you're deaf, and I can't hear you. They can tell it annoys me, and they're like, oh, come on, mate, don't get offended, don't get upset. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't expect this from my local GP. But when I first got checked out for cancer, I was living in Australia and I had to go for this ultrasound. I went to this clinic. And there was a lady in there and she was a receptionist and I could tell she just didn't want to be at work. There was a group of pregnant women in front of me, they was all really happy, pregnant. But this lady was feigning excitement for everyone. I went up and I was like, hi, here, get checked out for cancer. Straight away she went, oh, how exciting. Then she realised her mistake and was like, sorry, 1 second, stop. So we've got cancer checks here. And he's like, oh, whereabouts is the cancer? She's like, where's the cancer, honey? And I was embarrassed to say where it was, so I just whispered, you see my testicle? And she went, don't worry, honey, I've got you. And she went, stop. It's in this fucking nutsack! So I've gone into this room for an ultrasound, dropped my trousers, pants, half naked, waiting for Steve to come in, but instead in walks this woman who was fit as fuck. To give some privacy, they take the towel, put it over your genitals, leave your testicles hanging out. The way you put the towel down meant they push my penis up towards my head, so it wasn't securely strapped in. And I can feel it slipping away, right? And I'm led there, getting checked out for cancer, life-threatening disease, and it's slipping, and all of a sudden, it's flung forward. It's just fist bumps her hand. All you could hear was the sound of skin connecting, and in the distance, just the words, oh, how exciting. Now, days before this, I've been thinking, will I have cancer?
With that routine as well, you've got such strong joke writing. It's like really, really fucking good. And like double props to you as well for tackling like cancer in a way that doesn't put people off, and your balls as well. Like it should be gross and uncomfortable, but you make it like you make it very palatable.
That was a big problem when I first started.
Was it? Right, yeah, it's a rough road to there. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, so like I'm well impressed. I think. Only thing I could possibly say is like maybe sometimes it feels like too structured, and then maybe it's like you could be more dominant in your performance because you're like really fucking good. You know what I mean? So I think if you have more faith in your writing, you could then times them last like 3 or whatever. Because like I think you're very good. Completely, yeah, very good.
I was about to say, Danny, I just like you so much. I always like you when you're so fucking likeable. I was about to have a go at you for not writing enough new, because I've heard that set many times. But then, you did the new HMRC tag that I haven't heard before. Fucking brilliant. Fucking great. And I really respect that you've got gold, but you're still working it. It's really, really good. But now push yourself. You're a good enough comic. Write new. Scare yourself on stage. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fucking great set. Great jokes. Watch. It was just getting a bit distracting because he was looking at it a lot.
Do you know what? Normally you can see it on stage, but I came up and then I was like, oh, fuck, I can't see it.
Yeah.
Watch
yourself, it's too fun. and when the thing goes off, when your time gets done, then it's it. So I think that was great. Amazing.
Can you feel everybody? Alright, we'll do 2 more acts and then we'll go for the break. So, Bucket of Destiny, Michael Hall.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? You good? Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not really doing too good myself. No, it's not serious. It's just like, still kind of pissed off about the last 2 years, isn't it? Really about COVID, a lot of them, it's just, all my favorite celebrities just died, didn't it? Yeah. And bro, they just all died, man. Made me upset, Kobe Bryant died, then Chadwick Boseman died, and then Snoop Dogg. Well, Snoop Dogg didn't die, but he started doing Just Eat adverts, which is way far. No, man, I did not like that shit at all, bro. This is the same guy that wrote Gin and Juice, Drop It Like It's Hot. Now he's doing songs about fried chicken and cheap Chinese. I don't get that. But if I'm really being honest, bro, I'm not even angry at Snoop Dogg. I'm angry at Just Eat, innit? Because, they've been doing lockdown, they made me just fat. No, man, I got really fat during lockdown. The thing is, right, when I'm getting fat, it's not the problem that I got fat, it's how I found out I was getting fat. I didn't get a bigger belly or any stretch marks. I did, however, pop the bubbles in my Air Maxes, so like, that's it's not really funny, it's really irritating, isn't it? It's just Maxes now, isn't it? Like, literally. I'll tell you more about myself. My name's Michael, I'm 25, and I live at home with my mum because things are going so great. No, man, I live at home with my mum. It's really irritating because the real reason why I live at home with my mum is because last year I went through a breakup, innit? And don't feel bad for me yet, because I think it's very important that we all get out of hell. No, man, I want to say nice stuff about her, but she was just fucking horrible, man. Like, for real, like, we got to the point where, I just stopped caring about her. Like, you don't care about your partner anymore when they accuse you of cheating, and you just go along with it anyway. Like, for real, we've been arguing on the phone, I'm like, yo, babe, for the last time, I'm not at Tanisha's house. Unless you're going to leave me, then I'm on my way to Tanisha's house. All my days. Like, I like being single now. Being single is fun, been having a lot of one-night stands and shit. Embarrassing, but yeah, it's true. Like, the thing is, right, I actually found out lately I was actually someone's first ever black guy. Yeah, I was like the Obama of that pussy, man. Like, right over, man. It was really great. It was really great. And just so you know, if there's any racists here, do not worry, it wasn't the black girl from Luton, okay? I'm being honest, man, that was just a great night. It was just a really great night. My boys asked me, bro, what was that like? And I'm just gonna say this, man. It felt like I was invading a gentrified neighborhood. Like, bro, when I busted up, I screamed out, this is for Hackney. Like, literally. I'm trying to be a better friend this year. That's one of my main goals. I just want to be a better friend. One of my friends actually came out as non-binary, I'm really happy for them, but the thing is, right, I'm from South London, and I don't think the way I speak is scared to non-binary people. Not in a horrible way, it's just like the way I speak, innit? Say like if all my friends were right behind me, and I go introduce you guys to them. It's gonna get weird. I'll be like, yo, right over here, my boy Joe. It's one of the man them, innit? And over here, that's Tanisha, love this girl like a sister. So, one of my gal them, innit? And right over there is Ty. Ty just came out as non-binary, but we love him. You know that? So, what I'm trying to say is, it's one of my dem-dems, isn't it? You guys were shook for a second, don't lie. You guys are good, bro. You guys are really good. I ain't got much love, I just wanted to try it out. I just wanted to say that. How was that, bro?
I don't know.
How was that, bro? Oh, for fuck's sake. So I just talk to you guys. Yeah. What's your name, bro?
Two dogs.
Yeah, listen, I'm done.
I've never seen someone do so well, just give up. My mic up. Now I'm back. Why'd you stop? That is the worst work ethic I've ever seen. I thought your fucking Obama and that pussy with the gentrification tag was fucking gold. So fucking, and I respect your balls for going for the trans, staying in the like uncomfortable. Yeah, okay, alright, yeah, sorry. Alright, sorry. I'm sorry. Why have you got me in trouble, Mike? But no, I think you're good. I just don't know why you quit halfway through. Well, you gotta stop that. That's fucking not good enough. Yeah, that's very fucking advice to finish your set next time. But no, I think you're very good. Out of interest, what was lady who put the dog first? What was your what did you not like?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I thought it was tasteless, sorry.
You gonna retort to that?
Was it the girlfriend? Was it the breakup with the girlfriend?
No, I think it's just the non-binary kind
Oh,
of
were you done before that?
Yeah, you done before that.
Yeah, you put out before that.
Like,
Just chatting shit. Someone just wanted to swing the dildo around. Okay, Katie, where you go?
Yeah, my favorite great. I like cross doing new. I just think same as Luke because why? Like that makes it like you're better than that. You're also better than how long do I have? Absolutely no. Absolutely no. But great new stuff, man.
Pop bubbles and Air Max is fucking beautiful. That's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful way of saying you've got away. And this is for Hackney. It's astonishing. It's so good. But watch how quickly you speak. I think sometimes you run over, run words together. And yeah, Dems is X. Just give a shit. Give a shit, Nisha. It's 5 minutes after life. Give a shit.
That's good. Okay, we have one more act and then we'll go for a break. Can we get Ivanov Boy to the stage, please? Ivanov Boy! My name's Ivanov Poet, and I've got a bit of a weird name because originally I'm from Finland, right? And you know, my name gets pronounced differently everywhere I go. You know, in Finland it's pronounced Ivanov. Here people tend to pronounce it more like Ivanov. And you know, I did a gig in Kent recently. I found out that there, my name's actually pronounced "Go back to your own fucking country." I think my mum tried to give me like a kind of trendy name, different, cool name, whatever. I think if I ever have kids, I want to give them an equally trendy name. You know, it's very cool to give your kids names like emotions, you know, like joy or hope. But I don't really relate to either of those. So I think if I was to give my kid the name of emotion, something closer to home, something my generation can relate to. Apathy, maybe? You know, apathy, clean your room, or don't. I don't really give a shit. I feel like I've got a bit of a situation going on where my name doesn't really match my face. You know, my name's Ivanov, it's like a Russian kind of tough guy sounding name, like Ivanov, yeah. And then, you know, this is my face. I feel like I've got the name of like a Russian mobster who like kidnaps kids. And I've got the face of one of the kids he's kidnapped. I've got a girlfriend. We've been together like 6 years now, which is quite a long time. Cheers, guys. Love the energy. It's about what it's worth. No, we've been together about 6 years, which is a long time, right? And you know, it's good. But like we argue like couples do. Recently, we had a really big argument. So much so that I've been sleeping on the couch for the last week. And we don't live together. I'm just incredibly Gotta teach myself a lesson. Yeah, I grew up with just my mum, right? I grew up with just my mum. She's from Finland, so she taught me Finnish growing up, which is like the most useless language anybody could possibly know. But at the same time, that's kind of what it might be good for. You know, it's not like French or Spanish where it's spoken throughout Europe. But like I said, that might be kind of what it's good for. You know, if I'm ever in a tricky situation, someone's having a go at me or something, I can just play the foreigner card. I can just slip into Finnish and pretend I don't know what's going on. You know, someone might be shouting at me and all of a sudden yksi mä voin puhua suomea näin, ei kukaan ymmärrä mistä mä puhun. Mä puhun näin, ei kukaan tiedä yhtään, mistä mä puhun yhtään. Sorry! No English! And my girlfriend's looking at me like, mate, we've been together like 6 years now. I know you speak English. Give me back my iPhone charger.
I'm 26. I'm 26. I'm glad we can all be out doing this. You know, without the restrictions, so we can all be doing this. I can do what a 26-year-old should finally be doing. I can go out. The other day I went to go see Disney on Ice. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where they stick movies on an ice rink. But I feel like it's so safe. They always use the same films. It's always like Frozen or Ice Age. I feel like they should spice it up a bit. Give them some gritty films, you know, like Schindler's List on ice, Black Hawk Down on ice, Taken on ice. Who wouldn't want to see Liam Neeson fuck up some bad guys in a leisure centre in Milton Keynes before nailing a triple corkscrew? Well, there's Taken films, right? Have we all seen the Taken films? We know them, right? They made like 3 of these films with this bloke's kids getting kidnapped. I feel like if they ever make a Taken 4, it just needs to be social services taking away Liam Neeson's kids. Because he's not doing a very good job. Well, so, alright, I feel like as a society, we've got a bit of a like, weird fetish for like disabled animals. Bear with me, trust me. No, we do, we find it really cute when like, animals are like really struggling, and we've bred them to be that way. You know, like sausage dogs, their backs are so fucked because we've bred them, they wouldn't be able to get onto this little stage. Chihuahuas, their eyes and their brain are practically falling out of their face. And everyone's favourite, pugs. Have you ever seen a fucking pug? It looks like it's about to drown on oxygen at any given time. People always have, oh my god, look how cute he is. He's just in the corner of the room, just like. And we love it so much. I'll be walking down the street, and my girlfriend will be like, oh my god, look at that dog, it's only got 3 legs. Or my mum will send me a video on Facebook, like, look at this cat, it hasn't got a face, or something like that. But we fucking love it so much. And we always say the same thing. I wish my dog could speak, I wish he could speak. I feel like if a pug could speak, it would just say, please, kill me, please. I'm in so much pain. We always say that, we always say, I wish my dog could speak, I wish he could speak. I feel like it's so entitled to think, just because your dog looks cute, it would have the exact same cute personality that you've created for it. Your dog might look cute, but he might be a total arsehole. And he might have like really uncomfortable political views as well. You know, you'll be walking down the street with your little sausage dog like, are you gonna go poop? Are you gonna go poop? And he's just like, I don't think gay people should be married. Whoa! Great one, man. How long have you been going? A couple of years, 2 or 3 years, but even before COVID, it was I was a bit patchy, I was kind of but I'm back doing it regularly again now.
Yeah. Okay, I'm relieved you said that. I was just going to be going 3 weeks. Fuck yeah. I wasn't super calling you Ivanov. It's fine, I'm in loads of trouble there. I thought you were really good. I was going to say the same thing that you, I can't remember if you gave the advice, but I thought like you got great premises and then like some of them you could just dig more, but you're like, I feel like you're probably doing that anyway. So yes, I haven't got huge amount of feedback. I think let's keep going. So thank you.
And you're great, and your jokes are great, and your set list is great, the way you ordered them is great. I would now just say, careful of not doing a set like a monologue. Careful of not reading it off and just like, like let them in. Like, have moments where you feel like you're finding it. It'll just jazz it up for you as well. It'll make it a bit more enjoyable for you. I think I do not. You sometimes when you've got gold, you get into the like, it becomes almost monotonous in your head. Shake it up a bit. Like, just watch that, but it's very good. Right, thanks very much.
Great, man.
That's what I was,
I don't have much to say. You kind of look like a sailor, though. That kind of threw me off. But other than that,
we're going to take a very quick 10-minute break. Phil Henderson, I'm going to be on the second half. I realise there's a missed you off the list. Can I have the Bellows back, please? We'll change people around. Come back in 10-15 minutes, please.
Vauxhall Comedy Club, we're ready for the second half of the Ding Dong Gong Show! Let's make some noise for your host, the wonderful Luke Chilton!
If you like my amazing entrance, I just walked from over there, 2 steps. And did we enjoy the break? Yeah, fucking yeah. Who had the best break? Yeah, woo! What'd you get up to? There's a fucking mouse in the room. What the fuck is going on? You guys have some judges. We need some new fucking evil, mean judges. Do you two want to hand them out? You want to hand them out? Okay, Katie and Hattie are going to go around and find people. Put your hand up if you want to be a judge. You haven't been a judge already. Who reckons they got it? Judge at the back. Got some over here. Go find the most evil, shitbag looking people we got. Yeah. A lady in the back. Kino over here. She looks very happy. This dude needs some cock. That dude definitely needs some cock. Alright. Are all dildos in? Put your dildos in the air. Yeah. Dildos like you just don't care. Ladies, you gotta concentrate. There's a responsibility. Put your dildos in the air. Lucas, can you see where all the dildos are?
See those dicks.
Yeah. Okay, excellent.
Did we do the thing we gave the water girls?
Ladies want all those bags, okay? We know how many are out there.
But also don't be nice bitches, be bitches.
Yeah, also don't take them home when you need them for later. There's a sex show up there.
They're all ours, so we need them.
Okay, we ready for some more comedy? Alright, let's fucking go. I'm gonna go over here. Lucas, can I have some music to walk to that chair, please? Thank you.
Is that good, baby?
Thank you. Can I have my mic on, please? Hello, okay, we're gonna kick it off. Please welcome to the stage, Phil Henderson!
So I got the tube here tonight, and I found myself at one of those tube stations where they blast classical music really loudly at night. Now, apparently the reason they do this is to prevent violent crime, which I can tell you from personal experience doesn't work. But what it does do, I found, is when you are getting the shit kicked out of you, it's wonderfully cinematic. That's nice. Some of you might have noticed that I've got a moustache. Any other moustaches in the room? Legend. It's alright having a moustache most of the time, apart from in November, obviously, when everyone assumes you've grown it for charity. Just to be clear, I didn't grow this to raise awareness of men's mental health issues. This is a men's mental health issue. I grew this last year, genuinely, because I saw a picture of Henry Cavill, the actor that plays Superman, with a moustache, and I thought, that looks amazing. I'm 34 and I grew a moustache to look more like Superman. Is that normal? Worst part is, his moustache looks much better than mine, and I've worked out why. It's because his moustache is on Henry Cavill's face. Mine isn't. Beautiful man, Henry Cavill, isn't he? Sorry, I should tell you all about my sexuality. It's not something I normally mention on stage, but I've had a few people ask me recently who said, Phil, is it alright to refer to you as a gay comedian? Is that an appropriate term? Or is it perhaps more suitable in this day and age just to refer to you as a comedian who happens to be gay? And I think that's a really interesting question, because I'm straight. I say straight, that's not technically true. What I am is I'm straight-ish. I'm straight-ish. The ish part of that word, that sometimes makes men uncomfortable. I had an aggressive guy approach me after a gig recently, and he went, come on mate, you're straight, you're gay, make your mind up what you're into. I was like, whoa, to be honest with you mate, I don't really like to be pigeonholed, but I'm up for everything else. He didn't like that. Something else you need to know about me is I've not been very well recently. It's nothing contagious, but I did have to go to the doctor's the weekend, and I said, Doctor, I feel like a pair of curtains. Mainly because I feel like I'm responsible for a lot of darkness in people's lives. And I also think I'll be found hanging in my bedroom one day. And he said, pull yourself together. That's the level of mental health care we get on the NHS, isn't it? To be fair to that doctor, he did run some additional tests, and I'm very sorry to say I've been diagnosed with the big C, dyslexia. But it's not all doom and gloom in my life. I went on a date with a lovely lady last night and we ended up having sex. No biggie, that's what she said. You know, I think sex on a first date is great, isn't it? It's new, it's exciting, you're just getting to know each other, but you've got to have safe sex. You've got to have safe sex, guys. We didn't use a condom, but we were both vaccinated. Safe enough innit? Very lucky in the UK. People forget we got the vaccine rolled out really quickly. My date, she was telling me she was one of the people who was lucky enough to get the vaccine quite early on, because she's 93. She got it earlier. Nothing wrong with that, guys. As far as I'm concerned, if you're vaccinated and you're a patriot, you should be out there fucking pensioners. And I'll tell you why. They've had a tough couple of years, haven't they, the pensioners? They've had a tough couple of years. And also, let's be honest, a lot of them have become single recently. My glass half full kind of guy. No, in all seriousness though, I'm very glad I'm vaccinated. I was terrified about getting COVID and losing my sense of smell. Now, that's not a big deal for a lot of people, but for me, I'll be like losing a superpower. To give you an example, I woke up at 4 AM this morning because I could smell smoke. I thought my house was on fire. Now, fortunately, it turned out to just be my next door neighbour's house on fire, which was a relief. But it was lucky I did smell this. They didn't know they were still asleep inside the house. What was that, mate? How come I could smell the smoke and they couldn't? It's a great question. I didn't even say anything. I've got a condition called hypernosmia. You probably all know if you lose one of your senses, your other senses become stronger, right? Well, this is what happened to me. I was in an accident a few years ago. I lost one of my senses, but as a result, incredible smell. Anyway, 4 AM, I smell the smoke, I'm panicking, I'm thinking I've got to warn them, I've got to get them out of there, I've got to call the fire brigade or something, right? Unfortunately, the sense that I lost was my sense of urgency. By the time I showered, they were long dead.
You're loads of fun, Phil. I like you a lot. You're, yeah, I think you're very professional. How long have you been going for?
About 2.5 years.
Okay, yeah. You got the experience. Yeah, you're very good. I don't really know what to say to you.
You've just come down to London, or you've been on London before, or you've been up north?
Yeah, I'm from Newcastle originally. Yeah, I came down just before the pandemic, which is awful time, yeah.
Your ace. I love dark stuff, and the genius of prefacing it with Dr. joke is so immaculately done. Like, to go so hard hack to then go so hard dark was beautiful. It's skillmanship, sir. It was great, really great.
Woo! I mean, great hanging yourself joke.
Yes.
Absolutely fucking love it, man. Wow, I love it. You're great, though. I've seen you on the circuit. You're fucking great. So keep going.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're literally the most. Yeah. Give up the whole let's go straight down the list. Bring to the stage, Dos X!
Hi everyone, I go by Dos. That's not my real name. My real name is difficult. I'm actually Chinese. I get konnichiwa a lot. That's Japanese. It's okay. My cousin Kim Jong-un doesn't think I look authentic either. Yeah, I work in IT. Give me a cheer if you work in IT. Yay, I didn't expect that. You usually don't cheer. May the force be with us. I try to learn more about British culture from my co-workers. None of them are British. They just told me to watch the IT crowd. I finished all 4 seasons and thought I'd blend right in. Speaking of British culture, you know one thing that's really concerning about the UK? Pedophiles. How many pedophiles are there? I got the impression almost every comic has a pedo joke to tell, and I feel left out. You know how there's websites to track pedos living nearby? I bet here people just rely on word of mouth. And the tones those people are taking is as if they were saying, oh, my uncle happens to be a pedophile. You should try him out. Babysitting. Come on. If
to be honest, I had no idea what a pedophile looks like. Now I go to a comic club, the comic points in the audience, that's a pedo face. I look, oh, that's a pedo face. Today I learned. Now I have this useless information because I'm a grown-ass woman. Even if I wanted to date a pedophile, they wouldn't be interested. I don't have a child. But I still feel this responsibility to pass on this information. So now all my friends and family know that it's very likely for a pedo to be British in China. So try not to look at children when you travel there. I haven't seen my family in 2 years. I really want to see them to remind me that it's never a good idea. My mom, she scares me. Like she wants me to get married by my own effort. There's no arranged marriage, so easy for her to say. But the argument she's making is very compelling. She said, one day you might be paralyzed. And that's the best case scenario. She'd make a brilliant insurance saleswoman. The worst case scenario, she said, you're going to be in coma by yourself and the nurse slaps you in the face. It's dark enough to be a porn for you British people. Okay, so...
Oh, no.
Oh, no. So I need to brush up on the British culture lesson. I just feel that we are very different, you know? Because I'm like Vala Mogulis. All men must die. She's like all men must serve. It's a Game of Thrones. Okay, but before I moved here,
2 dongs,
nowadays
3
I also-
dongs.
That was really, you started so strong, and then, I don't know, I think you got a bit thrown when the first dong came up, and then you sort of like fell apart. I was going to say, some parts I think you're a bit nervous, you like spoke very fast, rather than letting the punchline like, just sit there and then enjoying it. But I fucking love the way you tore apart the English as an island of pedos. Guilty! I'm determined to get cancelled today. That's not true. That's not why I'm wearing SpongeBob sweatpants. How long have you been going for?
About 30 gigs so far.
30 fucking hell. Okay, that's really fucking good. Actually, I wouldn't be disappointed that you got Gong off. That's very, very good for 30 gigs. That's really, really strong. How much do you gig? How much do you gig like per week?
Once per week.
Once per week. Okay, yeah. I'd say if you can get in the habit of doing like maybe 3 a week or something like that, your nerves will like go, and then you'll be able to really like hammer home all your punchlines and stuff like that. But yeah, I think your jokes are really good.
We're all like, anyone who's doing stand-up in their second language is a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
Like it's we can barely do it in our own. Like it's astonishing. Just know, just keep going. Like you're a fucking hero. Just keep going. It'll get so much easier. You're already great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great stuff. I mean, no, it's great. You're great. Yeah, very good joke writing, and like exactly like Luke said, just keep digging as much as you can. Like it's just 3, I'd say 7 days a week. Go for it.
You're asking to show your calendars. 7 gigs a week.
Go for it. Okay. And that's what and the next time, it's all repetition. So we're excited.
Thank you.
Should we do a bucket? Bucket? Bucket of Destiny. Who we got? Ridwan Hussein!
tough to look good for your age though. You know, like my uncle, he actually died last year, 53. But he looked good for 53, right? He looks terrible for 54 now though. He's like decomposed and shit. I tell him like, you gotta moisturize. He just kind of goes like, ooh, you know. He's a dog. I was a little bit self-conscious. Even now, like, I feel like everyone's looking at me. It's in my head. It's in my head. You know, when you're with a girl, and then like you see her ex, and he's like, got a bigger dick than you. No. You know, when you're with a girl, and you see her ex, and he's like tall, he's like better looking than you, and he's got nice hair, and you're like, shit, maybe I do have a good personality. I thought she couldn't do any better. I was like, judging her, like, nah, but she's, it's gotten bad for her, I think. Anyway, scared of like age-related diseases. I keep doing this online test for Alzheimer's. I think that means I have it. That's like, I was gonna get a job in the army because I saw that like army recruitment advert for engineers. It's like fucking hilarious. It's like, so now you can laugh. So you can fix a skateboard. If you can fix a skateboard, you can fix a bike. If you can fix a bike, you can fix a car. If you can fix a car, then you can learn to fix like the helicopters that we use in the army. So become like an army engineer. That one's good. Have you guys seen the one for the army infantry? It's like, so, you can kill a dog. That's probably the end of it. So, I grew up Muslim, right? And there's some Tamils. Like, isn't it bullshit that like babies go straight to heaven when they die? That's bullshit, right? I'm like 100% behind this premise. So, you guys better go with it. I know, that was his advice from before, so. It's all, you know. I do think it's bullshit. I've been like here 23 years, right? And I'm, you know, I don't murder anyone. I'm not Jewish. And like, I have one wife, and I was like, you know, what's up with this guy? And some baby comes, like 2 months in, it's like, oh, right? I was just like, whoa, that is impressive. This guy is like a prodigy, send him straight up. It's bullshit when you realize that like there's no like actual babies in heaven. So apparently everyone becomes the age of Jesus when he died, which is 33. Then you realize like there's like a 33-year-old in heaven with the entire life experience of a baby. What's he gonna ask for? Like, his entire life has just been crying and someone scratched him on his chin. And, I think, imagine him talking to like Mother Teresa, and he's like, "What did you do like to get into heaven? Let her in jail or something?" And she's like, "Well, obviously, you know, orphans. I helped orphans and stuff." Whatever she, I don't know what she did. But assuming it's good, right? People say it's good. Right? And then she's going to be like, what did you do? And he's going to be like, I just died. It was easy. I don't know. People out here reading like entire books and stuff. Seems fun. Another thing, like, you know if you go back in time and like steal baby Hitler, there's going to be like a full-grown Hitler in heaven. That's not weird. I thought it was weird. I'm 100% behind this premise. Anyway, new jokes. I've been looking for motivation. My favorite motivational speaker, this joke isn't any better. My favorite motivational speaker is a guy with no arms or legs. Right? His whole premise is like, you know, I've had like the biggest problems in life, and I didn't kill myself. So you guys can deal with your issues, right? And that's motivational for like a couple of seconds. Until you realize, like, could this guy kill himself?
Oh my god, you ballsy motherfucker. If you're like an anti-Jew joke, an anti-disabled joke, and you're make it to the time. You're fucking great, man. I love it. You've got a sort of, you sort of shouldn't be as lovable as you are. You sort of just stand on stage with no presence whatsoever. Incredibly engaging, and I don't know why I love you, but I do. But yeah, great jokes. I like that you're ballsy and risky. Obviously, it's not always going to go your way when you have that sort of material, but yeah, you made it today, so good. I think. Keep going.
It's excellent. You're so deadpan. You're on the way to Holt. Like you know Ashley doesn't it? Yeah. Don't bail. Don't bail. Your material is fucking dark and fucking hard, and don't bail. It's good, and it's really good. So just don't do the whole like, oh, I'm 100% behind the script. Of course you fucking know. You're saying on stage like dig down. It's good. Just don't bail on it. Backstab.
I'd say go even darker.
Yeah, go
fucking absolutely. As dark as you can
Why
get.
do women go to heaven? Am I right?
There we go! Yes! Exactly.
Make it worse. Make it worse.
Alright, I'm gonna go down to you right now.
This is just them thinning out the competition. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, anyone else? Yeah, we love you. Well done. Thank you. We'll go next to the list. Can we please welcome to the stage, Law!
Hey guys, my name is Laura. This is my second time ever doing stand-up comedy. I'm pretty nervous. I'm not as nervous as I think another person would be because I'm a stripper. Which means if you pull out your wallets right now, I will do all these jokes naked. That's cute. You think it's a joke. People think strippers make a lot of money. We don't make a lot of money. You can tell the economy is really bad when a stripper is doing poorly financially. But that's okay. I have other ways, other revenue streams, like flying a sign, which is kind of like flying a kite if the kite crash landed in a dumpster and you pulled it out and wrote hungry on it. I have nothing against being a beggar. I think everyone should experience the privilege of being a beggar. You get a lot of interesting experiences. There was this one time I was in Colorado in the middle of nowhere, and I was flying a sign, and this Mustang pulls up, and this window rolls down, and this haggard old man is like, I don't have any money, but I got some smoke. You want to smoke? And I'm like, there's no witnesses around. I'm all alone. Sure, yeah, let's go smoke with this guy. So I get in the car with this guy, he's like, I don't know if we smoke the same shit. And I'm like, it's Colorado, 2017, everybody's got really good quality marijuana. So I'm like, this guy thinks his marijuana's really good. So I'm like, I don't know, man, I guess we'll see. So he reaches under the seat and he pulls out a case, and inside of the case is a meth pipe. And I'm like, oh no, we don't smoke the same shit. And he's like, what do you mean? You don't smoke meth? And I'm like, am I the weird one here? Like, I always thought meth had like a look, and I didn't think I had that look. Do I have that look? I feel like maybe I have a little bit of a crack look, but meth is taking it a bit too far. So he's like smoking his meth pipe, right? And he's like, meth makes a lot of smoke, apparently. And so he's filling up the car with meth smoke, and I like crack the window. I don't want to be rude. So I like just crack the window, and I'm just like leaning like this. And he's like, I've been smoking meth for 30 years. I'm like, 30 years? I didn't know meth existed for that long. Like, maybe he's just the founder of meth? You know, like he's the godfather of meth. Totally. Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, I've been smoking meth ever since the war. And I'm like,
2 dongs,
the
3
war?
dongs.
Well, first thing, massive rock second gig. I mean, Is stand-up more nerve-wracking than stripping?
Yeah.
It is, okay. We're so brave. Yeah, we're just not.
It's just, yeah, 18, yeah.
You don't know that.
No, I do. I have multiple mirrors.
But no, like really good. I feel like at the beginning few gigs, it feels like always just throwing shit at the wall and like seeing what sticks and stuff. But like you got amazing like just talking about like, your stripping experience and all that sort of drug experience is great stuff. Like just keep like mining it and finding. You need some like harder hitting jokes, but like they'll come. I don't want to give you too much advice at the beginning because it's a bit like you just need to figure out for yourself. It's very unhelpful having a panel of judges with no advice. But yeah, I mean, just like get loads of gigs in and then just keep going, and then when you got like sort of 30, 40, it'll sort of start coming together.
Okay. This is going to be a bit of a doddle for you. To already be that confident on stage is kind of a gift. Like, it's brilliant that you have that experience and you'll be happy standing on stage. The rest of us feel like we're naked on stage, and you've actually been there, so it's going to be a fucking dream for me. Now, just write jokes, don't just tell stories. You know what I mean? It's the difference between stand-up and brunch. Like, you know, you gotta, it's write them. Just write them.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I think this setting's quite difficult, because I feel like any Gong show is like, you wanna be punchy, and 2 gigs in, it's hard, because like, I'm fucking 2 gigs in, like you don't find a joke, like it's difficult. So just open mic as much as you can, just say shit and just refine, record all your sets and figure out where the funny is, where the laugh is, and then try to cut all that in the beginning and get straight to that as quick as you can, and then you'll have a great set, and just keep on going, man.
Sweet, thank you guys.
Let's go Bucket of Destiny. We have Finley Grove.
Cheers, thank you. I'm pretty new to this, so I don't really know the jargon. So when I read it, I thought getting gonged off by strangers. Well, it doesn't sound like an entirely bad thing. Yeah, so I came here to prove a point today. I came to prove to my girlfriend that I can last more than 5 minutes. If I get as many laughs here as I do during sex, then we're on to a winner. She's actually got one of the dildos. I've told her to be really honest, but, you know, if she bombs me off, that won't be the first time she's fucked me with a dildo. Yeah, so she's pretty new. We got together over lockdown. I don't like to say I've got a new girlfriend. I think it's more accurate to say I'm under new management. We've got cute nicknames for each other. I call her iPhone. She's constantly giving updates I didn't ask for. I really like her though. I think we could be soulmates. I think we could be. And the ancient Greeks had a beautiful belief about soulmates. They believed that humans, their original form, had 4 arms, 4 legs. It was both male and female, and 2 heads and 2 faces. And I read that and I thought that's interesting, because that sounds a lot like the creature I saw when I was 5 and walked into my parents' bedroom. But yeah, no. And they also say that when you they split them apart because they're too powerful. So you roam the earth and you look for your other half. And they say if you find your other half, you'll have powers that are similar to a god. I thought that's totally unrealistic. Like, yeah, I'm lucky if I find someone that, if we're together at a house party, we can socialise to the same ability as one normal person. So it's kind of like having like a corner man at a boxing match, you know? I'll be chatting to Dave for 3 minutes, and then she'll pull me out, give me a bit of feedback, like, yeah, okay, that's not bad, we can work with that, yeah. Don't talk about the rash, the dangling bit, definitely not. Good line with Prince Andrew, but let's keep it light, you know. But put the pressure on him, ask him a few questions, okay? Remember what we practiced, the combinations, you know? Question, nod, laugh, okay, right? Say it with me. Here's some vodka, go get him, Tiger. Yeah, so that's fun. I've got, a very happy relationship, which is more than my parents can say. So give us a cheer if your parents are divorced. If they're not, grow up. Divorce is pretty intense. It's kind of like international conflict. Like, I feel like Dad's like America. He's got all the money and he's like large, really fucking large. Like, maybe he lost a few pounds. Mum, what the fuck's his best mate? But she's like North Korea. Like, she's small, but she's willing to play dirty. You know? No one quite knows what she's got, but it was enough to make Dad hand over the cash like straight away. So, pension sharing or hush money, I don't know. But I realised that I have no solid proof that my dad's not being held hostage either. Like, I won't hear from him for weeks, and then suddenly out of the blue I get a phone call like, "Hi son, right, okay, gotta go now, bye." What the fuck does that mean? Yeah. Did you take sides in your parents' divorce? Yeah, I did. They don't know this, but I took both sides really strongly. Like, fucking call me Harvey Dent, I have two things. I particularly like it when I hear them arguing and I hear them use a line that I gave them. So my mum was saying to Dad, she's like, "I can't wait to get rid of your last name. Like, Myrtle Grove. Myrtle Grove. You thought when I was a young girl I was waiting for a man to marry me so I could sound like a fucking cul-de-sac." Dad's looking at her fucking stunned at the woman she's been married to for 20 years, suddenly developed a sharp wit. But growing up, when we were all still family, they said that I developed middle child syndrome. That's where you don't get enough attention as a kid, so it leads you to do like attention-seeking behaviours and looking for the validation of others. I don't know what they're all about. But, yeah, so my little brother got most of the attention when we were growing up. Like, it is rightfully so, considering what he did. Like, he was really committed. But yeah, but I think brothers are spiteful. You know, I think he knew what he was doing. I think he did it on purpose. Because with his death, Dad, my chances of ever being favourite child. That's it, man. Do you like weather? Yes. I live with my girlfriend, I live with her and her mum. Her mum's also battling cancer. She's been through a brain operation. She's back from being 2 weeks, given 2 weeks to live. We've been living with her for a year, so it's been so fucking long since I've been the centre of attention. That's what led me to do shit like this. But they're on the bus. Yeah!
I love how quickly that suddenly turned into very intense therapy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. How many gigs have you done?
It's my first one.
Holy I'll props to you for bringing up dead family members in. That's pretty. Normally people wait till the third gig before they go into that. So props to you. Amazingly confident on stage for a first gig. It was very good. You had your phone out the whole time. You didn't shake. Normally everyone like shakes in a fucking sort of horribly uncomfortable way, but you didn't. You just talked about really difficult family issues that made everyone feel very uncomfortable. No, I'm joking. You got more gigs booked in? No? Well, book in more gigs. Sorry? That's so far away. Yeah, book in lots of open mics. I think you're decent, man. Yeah.
That's bananas. That's your first gig. Like, that's bananas. Because you can write a joke, as in you know it. The whole you're brilliant. I mean, new management is a fucking dream. To open with such a fucking hard start as being fucked by dealing with your girlfriend is astonishing. Well done, girlfriend. It's great. Keep going. Just keep going. You're good. You're great.
Yeah, I'd say more darker stuff as well.
Yeah.
Go dark. No, but I mean, great stuff. I mean, first gig, fucking amazing. I'd say as soon as you can get off the phone, and like for stuff like this, open mics, like you know, that's cool. But for stuff like this, as much as you can engage with the audience, and just cut out the phone and start to do. But I mean, wow, I'm excited to see you in the future, man. Yeah. Keep digging. Pretty much.
Okay, we'll do. What time are we on? 3 more acts? 3 more acts, we'll do Bucket from Destiny! Monica Chatterjee!
blowjobs, guys. Move it. Come to my house tonight. Yeah. Okay. I'm a filthy little bitch. Good game as well. So guaranteed equality. Yeah. You guys ready for a story? Yeah. Okay. So once upon a time, my granddad fucked a midget. I can say that because I'm one and my grandmom's dead. Yeah, tragic end. My height's like a horror show on Netflix, which had a mad cliffhanger which never ended. So I'm living with it. Yeah. My name's Monica. I'm 28 years old and 4'11". So that makes things quite confusing for me, my dates, and all the pedophiles. Yeah, I get called a lot of names. I get called an elf. I get called a hobbit. The lost kid from the shelter. That annoying kid in the movies who dies first. And my favorite, Jeffrey Epstein's type. Yeah, but there are lots of pros and cons to being tiny. Like, I'll give you a pro, for example. Like, so, what's your name? Sam. Hi. Okay, don't worry. So, hypothetically, if we were a thing, right? If we were a thing, and we were walking on the streets, I could call you Daddy all the time. Because, like, people would applaud you. They would think you're actually my dad, but they would also be proud of you because essentially you would be adopting somebody from India. Double the fun! And the other pro is that I don't have to bend the knee while sucking somebody's dick. Yeah. The cons would be like if I'm in a lift, I'm the one smelling everyone's balls. Yeah, it's a good mix of sweat and piss and beer and poo. And I fuck them anyway. Yeah.
Freedom.
I've never seen such a massive guy in the front row be so scared of a tiny woman. Are you okay? Just about. No, you're so strong, Sam. How long have you gone for, Monica?
About 6 months.
6 months, okay. So do you gig a lot in those 6 months? Or
Yeah, I did take a break in the middle, so yeah, I'm back now.
Yeah. Okay, I wonder if maybe some of us there's been a lot of pedo chat. Maybe everyone's pedoed it out. I don't know, yeah, because I thought you had decent jokes, but they sort of felt a bit like they didn't land for some reason. And you opened really strong. Your opening joke's hilarious about sucking dick. The crowd loves sucking dick. Yeah, I don't know, I think just keep going.
Crack on. Listen, I'm not going to sit here, like, all female comics are concerned about having heavy sex. I would say some of us just plow through and have them anyway. But just be aware of it, that audiences have a bit of a thing about watching a female comic come out and just be like, bam, sex. Because it's our cliche, it's our stereotype. People are like, oh, another female comic, oh, no, is it? Like, and yours is aggressive and like fucking good for you, but just temper it. Like, find other stuff to pepper in there. Because comic audiences do get a bit like, oh, there's another female comic joke. Also, and I hate doing this, in the same way that a lot of comics from the Middle East are having to back off the airplane jokes, short people are having to back off the paedophile jokes. We're getting into hack territory. There's a lot of them doing it, so just careful. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Move on. Everybody. Okay, we got 2 acts left. So give it up for your penultimate act. It's Sam Gong!
Hello, my name's Sam Clothes. I'm the guy with girlfriend told you not to worry about. Spooky. I'm quite tall, which means sometimes people mistakenly call me big man. I don't want to assume what your first impression of me is, but gonna guess I'm not exactly giving off big man vibes. Like at best I'm maybe a tall boy. So I think big man's the kind of guy who goes for a cheeky Bella Italia with the lads. Whereas tall boy is more of a tentative Frankie and Benny's with his gran kind of guy. But at the end of the meal turns to the waiting staff and says, "So, who's Frankie and who's Benny then?" Give it a cheer if you're single. Nice! Some losers in tonight! I don't know why you're single. I think the pandemic actually made dating easier. Every date I went on during lockdown, walk in the park. No, that's a joke. I am single because no one wants to go out with a guy who looks like a young Jacob Rees-Mogg. The laughter hurts. A friend of mine said I've got the most generic white guy face, like if Louis Theroux.
Yeah.
Perfect end to a weird weekend for you, buddy. If Louis Theroux did a documentary where he interviewed Where's Wally and Harry Potter lookalikes, I'd have all bases covered. And another comedian came up to me and was like, "Oh, that's your thing though, isn't it? Like you're deliberately trying to look like Harry Potter." I was like, "No, not deliberately. I'm not trying to break into the Hogwarts comedy circuit, you know?" Start doing material like, "Oh, don't you hate it when you're flying on your broomstick and then the mental starts sucking out your soul? It's like buying me a drink first." So dating's hard. I'm bisexual, which means I'm also the guy your boyfriend told you not to worry about. No one's worried about me. You two look a little concerned. And sometimes people are surprised when I tell them I'm bi because I don't necessarily seem very interesting. But I'm very complicated. I think dating is hard these days because beauty standards are so unrealistically high, right? So things like Instagram, Photoshop, Paddington 2. Like so many arbitrary body parts get sexualized, you know? Like you, my man, I feel we've got a thing going on. What's your favourite body part in a potential partner?
I don't know, bum?
Hey, fair enough, man. I'm not judging, right? Because my favourite body part is a back. When I see a good back, I'm just like, damn. When I see a hunchback, Notre Dame. Didn't realise this was a corporate gig for the Notre Dame Repair Fund. Top 3 backs, since you're asking. Cashback, Cushing. Sexy back. Yeah. Backstreet's back. Alright. I'll probably journal pretty hard about this later. Of course I journal, you know, I'm a modern guy. I journal, I recycle, I don't mind a finger up the bum. I'm a complete package. And one thing I've been journaling about recently, there was this gorilla that escaped from the zoo in 2016. And he was caught because he stopped to drink 5 litres of undiluted blackcurrant squash. And the headline was very quick to point out it was undiluted, when I really don't think it needed to. You know, like no one assumed this gorilla had escaped and was there just pouring himself perfectly measured glasses of blackcurrant squash. Out of priorities, you know? I'd be thinking, hey, make sure that gorilla doesn't wander into any late night showings of Planet of the Apes. Otherwise he's going to get some serious ideas about his place in the world, you know? Sat there going, this cinematography is fantastic. Perhaps I'm due a less subservient role in this society. I'm an only child, which may come as a shock to you, but I think on some level I have known my whole life. And that meant when I was younger, I spent a lot of time with my parents, like me and my dad, we go way back. I call him the opposite of Icarus because there's no danger of him getting too close to his son.
got like excellent physicality. I remember last time I saw you as well. Like I feel like you've leveled up a lot. You really do like every stereotypical white guy come into one. It's fucking brilliant. I loved your deliberately sort of like cheesy jokes. I thought they were absolutely excellent. Yeah, I think you're. I don't know. It's like you guys are good.
You have this amazing thing. You know yourself so well, and I feel like so many young comics are always like, find your voice. Like yours is so clear, like weird, great. Your opener is staggering. I'm like you probably don't have to worry about it. And then you got this smile. I'm besotted. I'm just great. Yeah, man, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah. People forget about me. I mean, I'm just a big Harry Potter fan, so I feel like 10 points to Gryffindor. I love it. I think it might be the wine, but wow, that's just fucking great.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's probably definitely the wine, but no, you're very. You had me. You got my real laugh out there, and that's really hard to do.
She did. She Jimmy Carter. She called Jimmy Carter.
And that Notre Dame.
Yeah,
Wow.
Notre Dame is it.
And your stage presence, very confident and very, wow, just fucking wow. This guy right here.
Guys, we've come to our final act of the whole show. Yeah, that makes response sort of like, yay, pick it lame. His name is Robert Preston. Good night, Robert Preston.
Thank you. Before I get started, I wanted to address some rumours that have been flying around the comedy circuit about me. That I'm past my best, not as sharp as I used to be. I can't really remember my jokes that well anymore. I'd like to respond to them with this pre-prepared statement. Shut up! What? Past my best? As if? Not as imaginative as I used to be. As if? None of you don't know what you're talking about. I don't even need this. I'm as sharp as a bowl of scissors. Yeah. And my crowd work is second to none. So basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't even talk, think about what you're going to say, because you could hurt someone's feelings by accident. So now that we've dealt with that, on with the jokes. Unfortunately, I recently lost my job. I was expecting a bit more sympathy, but that's fine. Thank you. I maintain it was a classic case of crossed wires, but my boss insisted on calling it an electrical fire. So, on balance, I probably did have to go. Potato. Now, what this has meant is that I've had to launch headfirst into the most dangerous hunt any man can undertake. And I am, of course, talking about the job hunt. And if I know one thing about hunting, and trust me, I do not. It's that whatever your prey may be it man, beast, or indeed job, you don't just go in all guns blazing. I'm not just going to send in an application. That's just what the job will be expecting me to do. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to retreat to a safe distance, to a base of operations. In this case, it's my mum's house. And from there, I'm going to research jobs. I'm going to understand their behaviour, what motivates them, how they act. Am I going to apply for one? Am I fucked? And in this research, I've narrowed it down to, I think, 3 potentials. Yeah, Little Book's coming out again. We love the Little Book. Yeah. Is it little or am I massive? So I've narrowed it down to 3 options. The first one I've got here is, sorry, it's really hard to read. Optician. Maybe not. And then the second one I've got here is short story writer. And I'd like to share with you one of the short stories that I've written, if that would be okay. Helen looked both ways and stepped out. But that's not how you cross a lake. Short story. And then I thought to myself, Robert Preston, which is my full name, you're being a damn fool. You know, you're not doing what Mark Zuckerberg would do. He would invent his own job. So I squirreled myself away in my mum's house, and I came up with what I think is a job that does not exist as far as I'm aware, and that is the job of demotivational speaker. So my thinking is, you know, when you go and see a motivational speaker, there's no way of adequately ensuring that the attendees are demotivated enough. So I'm thinking, for a very reasonable fee, I come out before the motivational guy, and I just bring the energy in the room right down. The most toxic vibes you've ever seen. So I'm thinking I come out and I do something like, I say, a wise man once said, the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago. Do you want to know the second best time to plant a tree? 9 years ago. Everyone is doing better than you. It's okay. It's all right. I'm here now to tell you that all of those negative thoughts you have about yourself, they're all true. They're all true. You know that little voice in the back that says you're a piece of shit? You are a piece of shit. And I hate you. But don't let that get you down, guys. Don't let that get you down.
You've got some wicked sort of alt-y jokes in there, which I really like. How long have you gone for?
About, like 30, 35 gigs.
Fuck you. So you're doing like interesting jokes, which is good. The only piece of advice I'd maybe say is like, I feel like you sort of like play a character on stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd either go down the route making the character really, really fucking obvious, or take the plunge and start talking about more personal stuff, because it'll work for 5 minutes, but you'll find like it'll be difficult to expand if you don't go down one of those avenues. So I'll play around with that. Would be the only thing I would say. But you're fucking excellent. You've got some really cool jokes in there, and they're really fun. It's very unique. So thank you. I'm sorry you got more reviews.
Holy shit, you're funny. It's really funny. Do you know the comedian Roy Scovel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he straddles, I think, alt and more mainstream stuff, and you could. It's so good. Your alt is so clear. It won't bleed into more like realistic natural, because it's so clear and it's so precise. So don't balk at the old things. You'll get rooms where people don't get you. Like Meg Stelter, who's now just blown up on Instagram, she used to have a rough time in Chicago because people were like, don't balk at it. There'll be tough rooms, but it's really good. And there's a massive appetite for it right now. Some comedians are doing well, especially in the States, of this. It's sort of alt bleeding into other stuff. It's fucking brilliant. Keep going.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nobody wants to hear me win in general. Keep going. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So we need 1 minute to decide a winner. Between us, so I'll play some music. You guys can just stay put. And could you bring the dildos back to us, please? You can't take them home. They're really expensive. And so bring the dildos forward. We'll deliberate, and then we'll let you know the winner. acts. So, but we've gone on the basis of the 2 acts we felt can handle the bottomless booze nights, because they're sort of like what they'll be performing to. So we've chosen Phil Henderson and Danny Field. Come again. Everyone who passed the 5, you also get to do our midweek shows, which are new material stuff. You just send an email to the same email that you got on this show. We'll sort that out. Danny and Phil, come to us now. We'll sort out a date for you. Everyone else, you've been lovely. Come again. Have a lovely evening. Good night. Into the Ding Dong Gong Show.